Hi, welcome to Sandwich Scouts on Thursday the 20th of January 2022. This Scout Zone was first held at Gilwell UK Scouting Headquarters at 11 AM on Sunday the 5th of September 2021 when a commemorative plaque to Scouts Ma and Mooney was officially unveiled. The intention is then to pass on, share and hold the Scout Zone with fellow Scouts around the world all along the original route of quests 1921 to 22, voyage exactly 100 years after quest arrived at each location. This will include the Antarctic Peninsula using a facsimile of the commemorative plaque. After returning from Antarctica, the Request 2021 team plan to hold a final reunion Scout Zone ceremony at Fordell Firs, which is the Scottish Scouting headquarters, where a replica commemorative plaque will also be installed.
The inscription on the plaques reads as follows: Remember James William Slessor Marr, 1902 to 1965, and Norman Erling Mooney, 1905 to 1945, who took part in the 1921 Shackleton's Quest expedition. The official expedition name was the Shackleton Rowett Expedition. However, like many of the expeditions of the heroic age, it was also often referred to by the expedition ship in the case Quest. The larger commemorative plaque was unveiled on the 5th of September 2021, marking the Request 2021 expedition to Antarctica, 100 years after two scouts sailed on Sir Ernest Shackleton's final voyage of exploration. The plaque was designed by stonemason Mark Brooks from Canterbury in Kent. The smaller replica plaque will be installed at Fordell Firs, Scout headquarters in Scotland by the Request 2021 team in 2022.
Shackleton Rowett Expedition. The Shackleton Rowett Expedition of 1921 to 1922 was financed by Shackleton's friend, the businessman and philanthropist John Quiller Rowett. They had met during their school days at Dulwich College, London. In September 1921, the expedition sailed on the ship Quest with plans to survey the islands and navigation routes of the Southern Oceans. On the 5th of January 1922, upon arrival at the island of South Georgia, Sir Ernest Shackleton, who was in ill health, died on board Quest.
An extract from the book of the Quest, 1929, The Boss as I Knew Him. This was by Dr. Leonard Hussey, who was a member of Sir Ernest Shackleton's last two expeditions. To have known Sir Ernest Shackleton was a privilege. To have worked with him, shared his hardships and his adventures, and to have secured his friendship was a privilege accorded to few. I count myself very fortunate I was one of those few. He had a great admiration for the Boy Scout movement, so much so that he took two scouts, Ma and Mooney, with us on the last expedition on the Quest. Sir Ernest was one of the greatest Englishmen the world has ever seen, and we lost our best friend when he went. Still, we'll carry on, as he would like us to have done, and we'll never tire of talking about him and hearing of him. He's still very near to us, and he's carrying on his ideals and his traditions. We feel he is attaining true mortality, and as long as Englishmen and English boys can appreciate a true man, Shackleton's name will be upheld as an example and as an ideal. He would desire no fitter epitaph than he played the game.
Scouts Ma and Mooney. The Shackleton Rowett Expedition was the first polar expedition to involve Scouts. Following nationwide recruitment, Scouts Norman Mooney and James Marr were selected to join the crew of Quest. Mooney, from Orkney, was badly affected by seasickness and returned home from Madeira a few weeks into the voyage. Upon his return to Orkney in 1921, Mooney registered as a student engineer at the Royal College of Science and Technology in Glasgow. After graduation, he took on a role as a land surveyor with the Ordnance Survey based in Southampton. In 1929, Mooney passed the Colonial Survey examination and he was employed by the Colonial Office as a land surveyor in Nigeria, mapping previously uncharted areas. On the 20th of November 1945, at the age of 40, he was tragically killed when an accident occurred while he was out surveying. James Marr from Aberdeen went on to become a marine biologist and polar explorer in his own right, publishing seminal work on the natural history of the Antarctic realm. In 1943, Marr was selected to lead a covert mission called Operation Tabarin. Tabarin was the predecessor of the Falkland Islands Dependency Survey, which later became the British Antarctic Survey. In 1954, Marr became one of the only 18 men to have received both the bronze and silver polar medals. In 1961, he was appointed president of the Antarctic Club. Marr died at the age of 62 from emphysema and bronchopneumonia on the 29th of April 1965 at Milford Chest Hospital, Busbridge, Surrey, after a prolonged period of illness.
The Kent Scouts Request 2021 Antarctic Research Project marks the centenary of the Shackleton Roads Expedition. A team of 10 scouts from Kent in Scotland explore the waters and islands of the Antarctic during January 2022. In keeping with the spirit of the additional expedition, Request 2021 is carrying out research products with themes of peace, heritage and environment, and aims to leave a lasting legacy to inspire young people to explore the world around them. The project has 10 objectives, which are shown on these cards as they are unveiled. Objective number 1 is voyage. Participate as members of a crew on the Bark Europa on a voyage to Antarctica. Number 2, projects. Undertake personal projects with each team member presenting their results. Number 3, centenary. Hold centenary flag ceremonies in both UK and Antarctica. Number 4, plaques. Unveil commemorative plaques to Scouts Marr and Mooney in both England and Scotland. Outreach. Number 5, involve young people in a series of fun and educational outreach activities. Number 6, Thames. Host a pre-expedition PR event at Tower Bridge on Friday the 17th of September 2021. Number 7, Plymouth. Participate in the Devon and Cornwall Polar Society centenary event in Plymouth. Number 8, Shackleton. Celebrate and pay respects to the achievements of Sir Ernest Shackleton. Number 9, links. Build strong links with scouts in other countries on the original expedition route. And the last one, number 10, legacy. Leave a lasting scouting polar research legacy inspired by Scout Marr's work on krill.
Ten to the power of 3. The project can be summed up as 10 to the power of 3. 10 scouting ambassadors, 8 from Kent and 2 from Scotland, sailing on a tall ship to Antarctica, 100 years after the original Shackleton Road Quest expedition back in 1921. Thousands of young people engaged and educated about the 3 key lessons of peace, environment and heritage to be learned from this amazing, fragile, frozen southern continent.
Shackleton's last diary entries. Ernest Shackleton died of heart failure in the early hours of the morning, the 5th of January 1922. These last diary entries recall his thoughts as the ship approached South Georgia. 1st of January 1922. Rest and calm after the storm. The year has begun kindly for us. It is curious how certain dates become a milestone in one's life. Christmas Day was a raging gale, and it seemed out of place. I dared not venture to hope that today would be as it was. Anxiety has been probing deeply into me for until the end of the year, things have gone awry. Engines were liable, furnace cracked, water short, heavy gales. All that physically can go wrong, but still the spirit of all on board remains sound and good. There are 2 points in the adventure of the diver. One, when a beggar he prepares to plunge. One, when a prince he rises with his pearl. 2nd of January 1922. Another wonderful day. Fine, clear, slight headwind, but cheerful for us all after the last few days of stress and strain. At 1 p.m, we passed our first berg. The old familiar sight aroused memories in me that the strenuous years had deadened. Blue caverns shone, with sky glow snatched from heaven itself, and green spurs showed beneath the water. And bergs mast high came sailing by, as green as emeralds. Oh me, the years that have gone since the pride of young manhood when I first went forth to the fight. I grow old and tired, but I must lead on. 3rd of January 1922. Another beautiful day. Fortune seems to attend us in this new year, but so anxious have I become when that things will go wrong, I wonder what in time difficulty will spring on me. All day long, a light wind and clear sky was a happy position. I somehow find it difficult in settling down to write. I'm so much on the qui vive. I pray the furnace will hold. Thankful that I can be crossed and thwarted as a man. 4th of January 1922. At last, after 16 days of turmoil and anxiety, on a peaceful, sun-shining day, we came to anchor in Grytviken. How familiar the coast seemed as we passed down. We saw with full interest the places we struggled over after the boat journey. Now we must all speed, but the prospect is not too bright because labour is scarce. The old smell of dead whale permeates everything. This is a strange and curious place. A wonderful evening. In the darkening twilight I saw a lone star hover, gem-like, above the bay.
Following on, a poem by Robert Harding from the Book of the Quest, 1929. Why am I here? A young lad little known to fame, refilled his pipe and furnished a log fire into flame. Away on the skyline frowned a snow-capped peak. Around him lay the desert, white and bleak. The grey gull's screams were ominous to hear. Why am I here? No answer came. The cold wind moaned, the boom of cracking ice a sound of dread. In the fire's red glow his nimble fancy roamed, and winged a hero's motto through his head. Never, never the lost endeavour, never the lowered flag. And it merged with the roar of the waters and the blast from the icy crag. Why am I here? To do such work he nobly left behind, to tread his trail in storm and freezing wind, his ache to feel and also strength of heart, to be like him and bear the harder part, to fight that polar mountain, stark and drear. That's why I am here.
Nothing is impossible if we set our minds to it. 21 years ago, there were 25 scouts in the world. If anyone had said, well, go on and raise 2 million of them, distributed in every country over the globe, one would have said, no thank you, impossible. But the Jamboree this year will show that the impossible has been attained in the short space of 21 years. In our work with the boys, we can do a lot to lift the poorest and most hopeless out of their sloth and give them hope and aspiration. We can hold up to them the innumerable histories of self-made successful men to whom, in their early days, such a future would have seemed impossible. The The Scout should be taught to kick the in from the word impossible.
Let's finish with a reading of the final words from Mars' 1923 book, Into the Frozen South. And now I can hardly believe that it was all true. Yet it was true, gloriously so. I too have seen and known and learnt. I too have companioned with the great souls who helped to make our island history. Sir Ernest Shackleton, Commander Frank Wilde and the others, all great of heart and fearless of soul, have been my shipmates and my friends. It was a memorable year indeed, and for all time I know I must carry with me a vision of tumbling waves by day and phosphorescent breakers in the darkness, the grind and bellow of the closing pack, the rush and roar of the broken waters at the growler's feet, the hushed noises of the seals as they come to the surface in the still water of the pack. And always shall I see in mind's eye the glory of the Antarctic night. And most poignant yet, inspiring of all my memories, there is that of the lonely cross, outlined against the whirring drive of the South Georgian sleet, the sign which remains to tell of the Great Spirit that led us forth and died, yet lives again, as a magnet to draw the brave away from the sleek comforts of life into that outer world of daring, where then they gazed in awe upon the wonders of the